Hello everybody, Conodger here. Welcome back to Automation. So today we're going to do something new. We're going to start our car company. We're going to start basically a virtual car company in a virtual game. So the game's not to the point where you can make your own car companies or play through scenarios or anything. But I've kind of come up with a little scenario in my head where it's 1975. The whole fuel crisis is going on. Fuel prices are going through the roof. Car tech is at a standstill. There's car companies closing down. Many of them are, as far as American car companies, many of them are being now overtaken by the Asian market. Honda is getting huge, Toyota is getting huge, Nissan, etc. So we're gonna try and form our own American car company in 1975. I have already made one car and one platform, and that is the Vector Prosaic. Now, the name Vector comes from a car company that I kind of grew up with. They were a supercar company based in Green Cove Springs, Florida. They are one of the main reasons I got into car design and that kind of stuff, and for a while there I was dead set on being an engineer, you know, designing cars and stuff like that. It didn't quite work out. I'm not nearly smart enough to be an engineer, and it wasn't exactly my passion. So now I get to relive all of those cars I drew and made spec sheets for, and I basically did this on paper, you know, 15 years ago. But now I get to see it kind of in 3D and almost bring it to life, really. So it's a pretty cool idea for me. So this is our base model. The name Prosaic, that comes from a word that is defined as having the style or diction of prose, but lacking poetic beauty. So it serves a purpose, but it has no real beauty to it. There's no poeticness to it. It's just simple. What it is a 96.2 horsepower, 1.8 liter inline 4, turning the front wheels. It is on 185 tread, 14-inch tires. It is 20 miles per gallon, so that was my main goal, is I wanted to try and get at least 20 miles per gallon. 0 to 60, 13.9. So nothing to write home about there. Overall, the whole car is extremely simple, except for a little bit of suspension work. You know, it's got a McPherson strut up front and a trailing arm setup in the back, so it should be at least a good driving car. But now we need to add to the family. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making some base models. This is a base model. And then as we move on, once I have 4 or 5 different base models, we will start making different sub-models, like an SC, you know, all the different types of names for all the different cars. So we'll make one that's a luxurious version, one that's a maybe a sport version, and I would like to go in and make at least 2 models of a race version. So that is what our goal is. But for now, let's start a new platform. Monocoque chassis, steel construction. Oh, I need to take the year back, all the way back to 1975. Which is a challenge for me, because I know very little about actual 70s cars. My whole era of knowledge starts in the 80s, so it's an experience for me. So the last car was front transverse, meaning front-wheel drive or front-wheel based all-wheel drive. This one, for this car, I want to make not a sports car, but more of a sport luxury car. The sport luxury cars of the era, they had gotten huge. They were just big boats with gigantic, you know, 400 cubic inch V8s that made 150 horsepower. I'm looking at you, Automobile Buick. But I kind of wanted to take a little bit different approach. But I'm going to go with the front longitudinal. Up front, I'm going to stick with the McPherson strut. It's nice and average all the way across the board. And in the rear, I'm going to go with a semi-trailing arm setup, which is okay for rear-wheel drive. You know, it's, again, very average. Oops, let's see. I'm clicking all the buttons. Chassis steel as well. That's just what it's going to be made of. Aluminum, way too expensive, and fiberglass as well. Not that kind of car. So, body shell. For the other one, I went for this guy, which is an okay sedan body, but it's kind of economy looking. I kind of want this to be our marquee, you know, it's our grand sedan. So let's see what other body shells we have. Sedans are tough. This is this big sedan we have to choose from. It's very arrow shaped, so it's very 80s or 90s shaped. So let's see if we can ruin this design a little bit. 70s it up. So we'll make that nose a little bit more on the straight side. Bring those fenders in. I'm gonna bring the windshield forward, square that up, and bring the window. Rear hatch will be a little more flowing, and maybe keep the trunk pretty big. Because this is our estate car, we want it to have a lot of storage space, but apparently not much rear headrooms. Short people only in the back. I like that big sloping rear window. Is that as stubby as I can make the nose? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, and I'm gonna make that hood even, or that windshield even stubbier, which gives us a pretty long hood, but it gives it that little bit less of a rounded look. Okay, so let's leave that about there. We can change how long the front door is. We'll give the back passengers a pretty good sized door. Okay, so now we can really start to, oh yeah. Whew, that's a color right there. How about the gold? Nothing says luxury like gold, right? No, thank you. Let's go for just a nice off-white color. And let's put some fixtures on this car. Let's give it some character. But again, staying in the 75 type of theme, I want to blocky up this front end, so might have to do some creative things here. We got these kind of standard casing bulbs. Let's make them a little bigger. It actually inset those, didn't it? That's pretty cool. I like that look. I don't know how 70s it looks, but it's pretty cool looking. Interesting. Can I put another set on here, though? And make them as big as those. Actually, they're a little smaller, aren't they? A little bit bigger. I'm going to put them about there. Yeah, now we're starting to get a little bit more 70s looking. Alright, grills. We could really mess this up and put something like this on there that would be very modern looking, but no. How about this guy with the slots in it? Oh nope, that one's just the dummy one. We don't want that. Let's deselect that and delete it. Grills. How about this one? Does that one have? Nope. One of these has a, there we go. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Can I make it just longer? Yeah. So big, ugly grill opening with the little slots in it. That looks pretty 70s looking. Now let's go for some indicators. How about these? Along with that, I don't want to make it. See, if I put them too far this way, even there, they kind of look kind of rounded. I really want to make this front look pretty square. I could put them over here. About there, and let's do these. These. Here. No, again, that makes it look pretty rounded again. We don't want that. These are big. Wow, those are gigantic. I like it. Keep it. Not. Indicators. Well, we might just stick with those side ones, I guess. Or let's see if we can maybe get a little bit more creative with this. So that one there, that one there. Can I shrink this down? Rotate it. Can I rotate it 90? Yep. Put right in between the two. Not feeling it. Indicators. Oops, I kept those, didn't I? Get out of here, you. Any developers, if you're watching, Daffy, anybody, a great feature that would be really simple is if I play something and I have it selected and I hit the delete key. If it deleted, that would be awesome. Just a suggestion. Let's see. Gotta have some more character in the front of this thing. So there, I think it's probably the best spot for those. Well, what about a middle grill? How about an alpha nose? Nah. How about... These are all pretty kidney shaped. What do the vents look like? You can put these right next to each other. And then put the badge in the middle of that. Where's the badges at? Badges. Nope, not you. We'll go with the plain one. How does that clip? Not too bad. That's pretty good. It looks like it's sitting on the middle support there. I like the lines through it. That looks pretty good. Well, there we go. Honestly, this could also pass as a 90s car, but it's not too bad. It looks pretty squared off. I think what we could really do to make it hit home is to on the back use, which taillights do we want? Use one of these variants, which is what I used on our other car, but with some of these, like so. And rather big, but not wrapping. We don't want it to wrap around. We don't have to put them in any particular spot because we don't have the whole brake light height limits in this area. We don't need a third brake light or anything like that. Yeah, that's okay. That looks pretty good. Exhaust. This one I'm going to do dual exhaust. Put to one side. And keep them pretty small. I want them up as far to the bottom as possible. Another thing that would be nice is some non-through-the-bumper tailpipes. So in many cars it's just cut out and you see the whole muffler. So basically just a muffler sitting on the back would be cool. Alright, so we need some door handles, some nice simple door handles. Let's make them kind of big. Because when you're an estate car, you need to be able to get that door handle nice and easy. Aesthetics are not as important. Same for the back. Put these about there. Is it pretty much in line? Yeah, because these are a little bit narrower. That works. Anything else? Probably not. Again, I'm making the base car for all of these, so I don't want to get too intricate with the design and not have the ability to spice them up later. So we're just going to slap a badge on the back of that guy and say that it is good. Alright. So, I made a mistake on the last one. I need to go ahead and rename it of calling it the model. But for this one, I'm just going to call this the platform of the estate sedan. Save it. Now we need to turn it into a model. I've got to think of a name. Alrighty, so we're gonna go with longitudinal rear-wheel drive, and we need to build an engine for this guy. Now we could put this 1.8 liter, 1.8 liter four-cylinder that I built for the other car in there, but I don't think that one's gonna cut it. So let's build a new engine. We're gonna do an inline six. Now, inline sixes for American manufacturers in this era, they were big, bulky, basically ancient motors. The straight sixes for all these cars were just like some leftovers. So we're gonna make a new straight six to try and capture some of the awesomeness that the Asian manufacturers have accomplished in straight sixes in this era. You had the Datsun straight six. Toyota had a great straight six, so they were a very good motor for the Japanese manufacturers in this era. I need to make it pretty short, 2.5, and bring that board down as well. So that would be a 2.3 liter. That's not too bad. I'm gonna keep all this stuff just regular old cast. We don't need anything fancy. It's gonna be a low revving motor. So out of a 2.3 liter, I would be happy if it made 150 horsepower. We'll say that's our goal for now. Let's see. Let's go for overhead cam. Pushrod is still very much so the norm in this era. But again, the Japanese manufacturers are really starting to make headway with the overhead cam setups. So let's see if our American manufacturer can keep up and make an overhead cam motor, but with just 2 valves per cylinder. Let's not get too crazy. Cast iron head will be okay. Really, the only advantage to the aluminum is the weight, and we're not too worried about that for right now. Compression ratio, pretty low. We'll say 8.6. Cam profile, we'll leave that at 40 for now and mess with that later. Ooh, I like the cursive on that. Let's see. What's the other one look like? Just the stamp. No, this one's a nicer car, so I'd like it to have a little bit of style to it. Let's do the red with a nice cursive automation on there. Wouldn't it be cool? And I bet you that stuff like this will happen in the future, where the art style and stuff like that you could name appropriately for your company, or maybe just put the name of the motor or something like that there. That would be sweet. Okay, so that is done. Naturally aspirated fuel system. I would love to say we put a EFI system on there, but we can't. It's 1975, and mechanical fuel injection really expensive. And I don't want this car to be that expensive, so we're stuck with the carburetors. Probably a 2-barrel, maybe a 4-barrel. Let's see. A single 4-barrel would get you up to 180 horsepower. Or a twin. Yeah, we don't need twins. So let's just go with a single 4-barrel for now. That'll get us that 150 horsepower fairly easy. And it keeps our fuel efficiency pretty good as well. Be nice to get 20 miles per gallon out of this one, but I don't think it's going to happen. Standard intake. Ooh, I like that. It looks nice. Especially in red with that black ring. Looks good. Okay, regular unleaded, and a fuel mixture. We'll have to keep it pretty lean with the carburetor setup. Timing will take a little because I believe knock won't be an issue. We'll say 5,600 RPM limit. We'll do a short cast style header. That should be plenty of exhaust tubing, 2-inch, 2-way cat. Straight through muffler, and none on the backside. Just a regular old tailpipe. And let's see if we can make 150 horsepower. Or if we can just make a motor that stays together, period. Judging by that chart, I'm going to say we didn't make a motor that stays together. Sounds like it might have been a little rich. Nope, it's just knocking. 87.4 out of 86.4, I believe. So I need to take away a good bit of timing. Maybe a little bit of compression as well. And I'm going to give it a little bit ticks up on the cam profile. Okay, that's looking a little healthier. Not a bad sounder motor either. I really like the way straight sixes sound. In real life, RB25, probably RB25, 26. Probably one of my favorite sounding engines ever. They just have a really cool sound. But 108 horsepower, so not quite that 150 I was hoping for. Not quite 150 at all. Let's see how much room we have. Can we increase the bore some? That'll get us up to 2.5 liter. And we'll stroke it up a little bit as well. I think it's up to 2.6. Don't want to get these too out of whack because we'll start running into MTBF issues. Let's see just what that increase does for us. Cost-wise, only up to 614, which is a good price. Ooh, 124. It's about 26 horsepower off of 150. Looks like we got some room in the octane. Not really room in anything else. So let's see. Let's bump this up to 50. And I'm going to give it just a little bit more cam profile as well. Oh, 160 is on the chart, but I have a feeling that's for the torque, not the horsepower. Well, it was for neither. 140 foot-pounds and 134 horsepower. Let's see what we have. We're kind of really close to that octane, so not much wiggle room there. MTBF, that's about average for these motors that I've been building for 70s motors, so I'm okay with that. That may just do it actually. So a little bit short of the 150 mark, but it should still be able to move it along just fine. And as I said, this is the base model car, so we will make more performance-oriented motors in the future. So we will save that. No fancy names this time. Somebody broke my code, so there's no sense in naming them that anymore. Okay, so we've got a motor to choose now, and it is this one here. So we'll choose it. And it fits in there just fine. Manual gearbox, standard clutch. Got 5-speed tranny, 126 miles an hour, estimated top speed. Not bad. I don't think we really probably need the gearing for that, but I'm going to give it a little bit of overdrive as well, so we'll go up to 136 and space it out so that we have a nice tall first gear. Get that big heavy beast moving with our 134 horsepower. Alright, suspension, rims, and tires, and that good stuff. Let's see. Last car I put 14s on it because 14s seemed a little bit more appropriate for the era. Almost kind of looks like a Lexus, doesn't it? Maybe it's just that off kind of pearl white that's giving me that look. But let's see. Let's go down to some 14s again here. And maybe a little bit wider tire. So a 195 front and back. That looks good. Not too far in from the fenders, but a pretty good distance, which is the norm. Okay, tire choice. Oh, why do I not have a tire choice? Did I forget something? Yep, forgot to put open diff. Okay, now we got a tire choice. And we're just going to do hard, long life road. Alright, brakes. Solid discs up front. A little bit of a heavy car, but yeah, I think probably a 2-piston might be necessary. So we'll put as big of a disc we can get up front, and then just a regular 1-piston in the back with a pretty small. It would probably actually be drum for this era, but we don't have that choice just yet. Okay, suspension. Not going to mess around with this too terribly much. But I am probably going to drop this rear sway bar because I have a feeling... No, I guess it's rear wheel drive. It should have a rear sway bar in it. But let's take the stiffness down a little bit. Make it a nice smooth ride. Ride height. Yeah, that seems good. Weight. So this is a big car. Big to me anyway. It's not really that big of a car, but 1,800 pounds is what we already have. I would like to say this car would weigh at least 3,000 pounds. All said and done. So that's what we'll do. Distribution, straight 6 is a pretty long motor, so I would expect it to be pretty front heavy. 5841, that would fall in line with that. Airflow, we don't need that much, so we'll bring this down to a good number. That's good. Let's see what she does. Alrighty, so 0 to 60 in 11.9. That's not too bad. That's almost bearable. Top speed 125 miles an hour. Economy 16.7. So not 20, but not god awful for a big car like this. You got to think that those 400 cubic inch V8 Oldsmobiles, Buicks and whatnot, they were probably not getting 16.7 on a good day. So I'm fairly okay with that. Cornering 0.62G, it's not great either. But again, not a sports car. It's hard for me to think in things that aren't sports cars. Speed, it's pretty bad. I'll be honest. Takes what? I was saying top speed within a minute. That's or a little bit over a minute. That's okay. Power. Okay, alright. Looks like we have a pretty dramatic understeer, which is to be expected. But it occurs at a high enough speed that I'm comfortable with it. Body roll. That's okay. For a big car with soft suspension. Let's see, what else do we have? I think that's okay for the weight distribution, the transfer. It's staying close enough to 50 for me to be alright with it. This guy, I don't quite understand what the body bump is just yet. And the downforce, we didn't put any on there, so there's nothing to be had. It's probably making lift. Yep, sure is. Alright, so I think that about covers it. We have another base model to choose from. And I have chosen a name. This is the Vector. So it is going to be called the Vector Domain. Not domain, but domain. And that is a synonym for estate because I am just that uncreative when it comes to names. Okay. Oops, I forgot to save it as base. So we have another base model in our inventory now. Let me actually delete this guy. Delete. Yes. Alrighty, so we have one model to choose from. I still need to work out the prosaic just yet as a model. Maybe we'll cover that in the next episode. We're running a little bit long here, so I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it up now. Just a little bit of an announcement. I will not be doing videos for the next 4 or 5 days because I am headed to Daytona to watch the Rolex 24. Hopefully I'll be doing some vlogs or just shooting some video and doing a sights and sounds from the race. So look forward to that when I return. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.